You are watching Explore Science. In the previous video, we covered the cell theory, and in this video, we are going to study the cell structure. So, before studying cell structure, we need to learn a few important things, like depending on the organism, how numerous the cells are. As it is understood that larger an organism, greater the number of cells in its body. So the single-celled organisms, first of all, also known as the unicellular organisms, many small plants and animals are made up of just one single cell. So if we talk about the prokaryotic animals, we see that, for example, bacteria, yeast, amoeba, they are made up of only one cell. Hence, they are unicellular, made up of only one cell. Second is the few-celled. Few-celled means that more than one but not numerous. Some very small plants and animals are made up of relatively fewer cells, just a few hundred or a few thousand cells. For example, the algae, the species of algae given here is the Spirogyra and Volvox. Next we have multi-celled, that is a full-fledged large or larger organism. Most plants and animals we see around us, including ourselves, human beings, are made up of millions and billions of cells. For example, mango, human beings. Then the cell count is given in the blue box. An average sized adult human constitutes approximately 1000 million cells in the whole body, 10,000 million nerve cells in the brain cortex, 5 to 6 million red blood cells, and 7,000 white blood cells per cubic millimeter of blood. So you can imagine that how many cells are there in our body. Then the size of cell. Cells are very small and are seen only with a microscope. So these days electron microscopes are being used for the discoveries. Smallest cells are the bacteria, 0.3 to 5 micrometer. Red blood cells about 7 micrometer in the human body. Then the longest cells. We know that our nerve cells are the longest cells. Then largest cell, ostrich egg is considered as the largest cell. Then let's see that smallness of cells, it means greater efficiency. Smaller is the size, more will be the efficiency. Cells generally remain small in size, and this is so for two main reasons. The first is different regions of cells can communicate with each other rapidly, because smaller will be the size, lesser will be the distance. Okay, so they can communicate with each other rapidly for the cell to function effectively. Then the second point is very important, that cells have a large surface area. Lesser is the size, more will be the surface area by volume ratio, for greater diffusion of substances in and out of the cell. Now what are those substances that have to diffuse? Let us see. They are the nutrients, because cells function and the nutrients are being provided, then only they can carry out proper functions. Then the metabolic wastes, they have to be taken out of the cell. Then the respiratory gases, for example, oxygen into the cell and carbon dioxide out of the cell. Any damage to the cell can be easily repaired. So these are the points that why small size of cell presents a larger surface area by volume ratio. Then the shape of cell. Cell vary greatly in shape. Okay, so their shape depends on the type of functions they are performing. Okay, like the brain cells are different from the cells of lungs or any of your muscles. So they can be disc-like, polygonal, rectangular, cuboid, thread-like, branched, irregular. For example, if we take your nerve cells, they are thread-like, okay, because the impulse have to be traveled faster for the passage of information. And if we talk about our RBCs, they are biconvex in shape and they are smaller so that they can carry more oxygen. In the figure also you can see the shapes: epithelial cells, human blood cells, cartilage cells, connective tissue is there, then striated muscle fiber. The more you can see nerve cells, bone cells, smooth muscle cells. So depending on their function, they have variety of shapes. Now coming to the structure of a cell. Now various kinds of cells show special differences. Now, but there are three main parts of the cell: the covering or the boundary, also known as the plasma membrane, that is the cell membrane. Then the nucleus that carries the hereditary information, and the cytoplasm. It is the viscous fluid in which other organelles are there. So cell organelles. Now what are these cell organelles? They are like little organs of the cell. Most parts of cell have a definite shape and definite structure and function. Such parts are called organelles. So it is the combination of all the functions of this organelle that the function of cell depends. Okay. The organelles have same status in a cell as the organs have in the entire body. So the analogy is that as various organs or the parts of our body form a full organism, so does these organelles form the complete cell. Okay. So you can see here, the left side there is an animal cell and on the right side there is plant cell. We will cover the differences in the coming video. So you can see that the cell wall is present only in the plant cell but not in the animal cell. Then cell membrane is common to both. Okay. Then you can see the main parts, that is cell membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. So in this box you can see the living parts of cell and the non-living parts of cell. Cell membrane, it is required, okay, and it is a living part. The transport occurs through this and it is semi-permeable, means that it does not allow the transport of all the substances or molecules across the cell membrane. Then on the other hand, non-living parts, it is cell wall. Only in plant cell it is dead part, whereas cell membrane is living. Then in the cytoplasm or the liquid part, these all organelles are there. We will study them each in one video, like endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, lysosomes, centrosome, which are also present. This is also a difference point for plant and animal cell, because centrosome is present only in animal cell but not in the plant cell. Then plastids, they are present only in plant cell but not the animal cell. Then granules are there, vacuoles, fat droplets. Then inside the nucleus, let us see which organelles are there. Our nucleus is composed of what? Nuclear membrane, nucleoli, then chromatin fibers. So these are responsible for the cell division and the hereditary information passage. So nucleus is containing the nucleoplasm. Okay, then see you in the next video. That's all. Thank you. If you find the videos beneficial, subscribe the channel. Don't forget to post your queries in the comment box below. Thank you.